get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration.
Good morning, YouTube. Okay, I'm doing there we go. What is up, fellas? Hold on 1 second. Gotta take my mic off and run to the back of the truck. Don't want to lose y'all. Hey, good morning, April Showers. I see you in there. Man. The truck cut off for a second. Hold up, let's just get you going. Hope that doesn't mess with my earpiece. Let's see. Let's double check that before we head out. Audio, Bluetooth headset. Testing 1 2 1 2. He better not stop right there. I'm trying to come out. Oh, okay. Well, y'all gonna hear somebody cussing this early in the morning. Let me come out of here before. Let me come out of here before I say something. I hope he's just backing up the turn. What are you doing, dude? See, this is what I go through. He's trying to back up. What the heck? These truck drivers, boy. Especially late night when they come in here. They don't even realize what they're doing. And look at this car. What the hell are you doing back here for? Boy. Bruh. Literally. And this car is an idiot. Look at this. I literally got to go over the sidewalk. Let me pull my brakes so I get the light in the back. I literally got to go over the sidewalk to get out of here. And this is what truckers go through. I literally got to go over the sidewalk so I don't tag anybody. Oh, boy. Let's see here. Literally. Look at this. Tilting the trailer because y'all just park anywhere. Jesus. I was wondering why he couldn't figure out how to turn around. And look, he's struggling for a spot. He's trying to back up it. Boy, they don't give a flip. See, that's why I stopped early. That's why you see this? Mike, that's why you see people like, why do you drink? This is what I go through. I said, I'm seeing my job flash before me. I'm seeing my job. Look, and there's four other trucks behind me. There's four other trucks behind me. That's freaking hilarious. I made it. Oh shoot. There's four other trucks behind. Oh gee. Oh, hold up. Wait. I was screaming, then something bumped. There's four other trucks behind me. Oh my God. Look. Look all the trucks that are parked on the side of the road. Alrighty. Welcome in to the morning drama. Welcome in to the morning foolishness. Welcome in to what we do around here. Hey, and I'm being, being an emotional being an emotional person. Do you see why that racks up on me, Mike? You see, I'm like, what the heck? But that's why literally I park at certain areas in the rest stop. But I park at I try to park all the way at the end because you can get blocked in that you can't move until the other trucks that came in later on after you move, and it's an experience, man. It's an experience to behold. Um, That's I'm laughing like this. You know, when you that desperate that you're parking in front of people and parking around turns where I could whack you and lose my job because I was just trying to get up early. It's unbelievable, but it's the business. It's it's the life I've chosen to live. Oh my God! But God, I'm trying not to. Yeah, it's funny, but I'm laughing of with fear behind the laugh. It's like, oh my God, what the heck? And I'm on camera. And I'm on camera. Oh my God. So it's even 10 times worse, you know, because you guys are watching. Now I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna look like an idiot smacking somebody. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Ah! All right, let's get into it. You know, Warm Adventures is, he's a content creator that just focuses straight on cruising. And I've said it, I've always said it in his chat, and he makes fun of me about these kids on a cruise. Um, and it's funny because you try to choose as an older gentleman. I'm 57. My son is in his 30s. I've done my job, but you see um, a lot, and it does not matter. These people will take their kids, or they'll take them out of school. They don't give a flip, and they will do these cruises. Um, they'll do 7 days, 14 days. They'll take these kids out, and certain areas, school's almost freaking out. Prom, it's March. Prom, I remember when I was in school, prom was like June, I think. But that's all good. But yeah, I posted, um, I posted a letter that was posted on Facebook, and because when you cruise, every cruise has a Facebook group. So if you want to, join a Facebook group for a certain cruise and a certain date, every let me slow it down. Everybody's waking up and everybody's speeding. Let me hey, let me get in my lane. Let me get in my lane and stay there. Let me get in my lane and stay there. Let's start with that until I acclimate to the time, waking up, and all that, all that stuff. But okay, so back to what I was saying, and you could tell, and I gotta get racially profile. I gotta do the racial profiling on this one. You could tell because the person was polite and nice and everything else. You could tell that what the situation that happened to them, they were of the Caucasian persuasion. And I'm not being a negative Nelly. I'm not being racially or whatever, but you can tell because they blocked out the a hole and all of that. And but when you get a chance, go back and check out what it says. What it says was there was some teenagers acting the fool on Royal Caribbean Utopia of the Seas. And what they were doing, this ship is so big, they have balconies on the inside that you can see the boardwalk area. It's an area where they actually have live plants, live trees, and you can walk along there. They play music. They're playing a lot of times jazz or soft music, and they had it looks like storefronts, like a storefront, and they had, oh man, it was really really nice. They had like this one area you could go in and get one little storefront where you could go in and get um, it looked like stuff It was very, very appealing. The food was very, very appealing. It had cups of grapes and sliced fruit and just wonderful. The bread was cut. It looked like something from Japan. The bread was cut. Peanut butter sandwiches. They had small types of sandwiches you could get toasted. I mean, it was very bougie, but very nice. And this is what the area looked like. But there were some kids off of a balcony, and the person that did it threw hot coffee on the people below. And the guy spoke up, and then they threw a bottled water, not plastic. I'm just saying it's probably plastic, and hit a 70-year-old woman that was walking by. Because I know that, and this is really nice here. This is where I was hiding my ducks and stuff like that. I would sit down and put a duck down and get up and go, and I was having a good time. But these kids were acting the complete fool. And they don't realize that the company has to take action. And 9 times out of 10, but even though this is a short course, I don't know when this happened, they could kick you off at the next stop. Not just the teenagers. Everybody in that room. Exactly. Everybody in that room gets kicked off the ship. Now, normally, when I would say something like this, and I'm saying something like this, you don't see the uproar. You don't see or you don't hear the uproar. Now, if it was Carnival, ghetto ass place, Walmart of the seas and so forth, all of that racially fired I'm using a big word, don't know what I mean. Epitaph, racially profiled stuff. And see, I told you that place was ghetto, but this is what happened on Royal Caribbean. This is supposed to be the utmost of sophistication. This is supposed to be the utmost of sophistication because all of the palm-colored folks, all of the Caucasian, this is supposed to be the utmost of sophistication. But your children are doing this on Royal Caribbean. Well, they must have came from Carnival. I'm kind of not seeing that. Because the Carnival, the kids on the kids, the African American kids, and even the poor white trash kids on Carnival know better. My mother and father has told me before I get on this ship, if you have to act the freaking fool and get me kicked off this ship, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna put on bodily harm. Hey, Urban, I'm gonna give y'all some bodily harm, and you're gonna regret the day that you messed up my vacation. Now, granted, I've been on Carnival, but they didn't do something as stupid as this. Do you see what I'm saying? They didn't do nothing as stupid as assault an elderly woman, throw hot coffee on people, passerbys, and even threw a slice of pizza. You know what? And I'm just taking a wild guess. That was some entitled, I'm trying to find the right word. Entitled kids that think that they were going to be able to get away and do whatever they want. And I noticed, and once I started looking, I started noticing certain things, like in the adult sections, in the entitlement, when it says 18 years and older, and you could look at a kid, being a parent, look at a kid and know you ain't 18. And I've done this in Carnival. young brothers walking through and I just came out my face. Hey, bro, you in the wrong section. Y'all need to get up out of here. And he would look like, oh, excuse me. I said, no, you heard what I said. There's a reason why I walked into this side of the boat. It's adults only. Y'all need to get up out of here. You see what I'm saying? I'm not with it. I paid good money, and then after that, I'm about to call out security. But see, on this boat, I noticed this wasn't happening. They had an adult. They had adult karaoke, which the wife was singing, and we make fun, but she actually did a good time. Had them, screaming and shouting. But I'm noticing that their parents were bringing their kids into a bar where you can't do that nowhere else. There's little kids sitting on the bar stools, taking up space when this is adult only time. But you can't take your kids. You don't want to take your kids to the hold on. You don't want to take your kids and put them with the kids only section, and they have where you could sign your kid into where they children's counselors and stuff like that, and it's mind-boggling to me. It's mind-boggling to me because look, I done did my time. I did my time as a parent. What the heck? And I said it before. Is this new hairstyle that these white, soccer playing or Disney Channel? It's the white. Hold on, that's kind of tilted. White soccer playing Disney Channel look, and because once they move into the adults area of 18 to 20 to 21, they change their hairstyle, and I'm like it's apparent this whole group ain't old enough to be in here because they had an adult game show where people are switching. One of the things was take your clothes off and switch. They had grown ass men putting on dresses and wigs and all kind of stuff. And this is an adult game show. It was goofy as heck, but it was for adults. But you saw a whole row of teenagers watching this mess. This is the stuff that gets my whatever is freaking stupid. That nobody wants to step up and say, hey, you don't do that. You're not supposed to be in here. Hey, don't do that. Even on Disney, you go on Disney, it's going to all be goofy, Mickey Mouse stuff, but they have a whole set of sections for adults only, where the adults can get away from the kids for a certain amount of time. But it doesn't matter what cruise ship you go on, this goes on. And I'm an adult male. I'm 57 years old. Half my stuff don't work as it is. But I'd be darned if I'm not going to get on a cruise ship and get in a hot tub. And they even had the kids in the adult only hot tub section. The adults only, it's called the solarium or whatever. They were in the adults only section in the hot tub. I'm not getting in a hot tub with a child. I'm not even getting in a hot tub with my own child. And he's 30. Do you see what I'm saying? It's freaking stupid. And in the main area, I'm gonna do a voiceover in the main area because I got it download. I brought my 4K camera with me on the road. But in the main area, there was just swarms of kids and all over the place. The pool, the hot tub. I wasn't getting. First of all, we're just talking right now. I'm not getting in these areas because it's disgusting. Because one, the adults that are drinking, they're not getting up to go to the bathroom. Yeah, he's a man now, but guess what? He's still my son. You know what I mean? He's still my son, and that's what it's the point of it all. You getting in a hot tub with with some adults and relaxing. First of all, on the cruise ship, let me tell you on the cruise ship, a hot tub ain't hot. Isn't that crazy? It's lukewarm. So you getting in a lukewarm tub because they're scared of being sued or something, and you get in a lukewarm tub with someone drinking, and you notice, hey, he ain't gotten up going to the bathroom. You know, you have a couple of beers or you have a couple of drinks. You going one, I know, don't matter what age you are, you gonna have to go to the bathroom. You feel me on this? I'm just saying. But now you got that, and you got a whole bunch of kids. You know, come on, man. Come the heck on. That's where I'm like, I don't get it. That's where I don't get it. Yeah. That's why I don't get it. And see, a lot of times, and I've been in the other cruise content creators, conversations, whatever. They get really, they put royal on this pedestal that it is the elite, the epitome of sophistication, and I'm like, that's look like Carnival to me. And it looked like on the Utopia Sea they were trying to be more like Carnival. And you get all of these racially motivated remarks about certain situations of Carnival being ghetto and Carnival being this, and I don't see it. And the reason why I don't see it, I see a lot of African American, a lot of Asian Americans, a lot of Indians, a lot of other, ethnicities or whatever you want to call them, getting together and wanting to have a good time because they paid their money. They paid good money. But I was expecting, you know, the way everybody talks about Royal, I was expecting like the an orchestra playing, the birds are chirping, and you could hear the angels, singing your entrance into the glory of Royal Caribbean, and it was just not what I was. It just it's just not what I was expecting. And I'm like, well, this is just a big, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm just saying, y'all was saying all this stuff about, Royal Caribbean, and I wasn't seeing it. I was seeing typical bull crap that happens on every cruise ship. I was seeing typical running around late night, situations. We had a talk, me and the missus last night. I'm apologizing because I said something wrong, and I keep on forgetting. I believe my wife is my best friend, but I can't talk to her like a best friend. I was reminded yesterday, I can't talk to her like the best friend because we had a conversation, and I'll leave it at that. I said something that you would say to best friends, but I was like, wait a minute, I shouldn't have said that. Too late. Can't take it back. I apologize. She kept on throwing it. Well, how would you feel if I said that? Wouldn't bother me none. But and I said I kept on. I apologize. And look, I'm this. What else do you want me to do? I said I was sorry. I will work on not saying that again. But I want you to, you dig so hard. I'm like, okay. See, but everybody's not. Everybody doesn't want what you want. That's one thing we gotta figure out. I gotta figure out. You gotta figure out. Everybody want. See, when I go on a cruise, I want to be able to walk around. I want to be able to look around. I don't. I'm over that excursion crap. I'm over all of that. I'll walk off this boat, walk around the port area for a minute, then go back to the boat. That's what I want to do. But other people want to do other stuff. This next cruise in August, everybody's going to want to do stuff, but they ain't not going to want to do what I want to do. What I want to do is just relax. What I want to do is walk around. What I want to do is take pictures, do videos, and look for funny stuff. Like, look, I took a picture with the washy man. He had me laughing. It made me want to wash my hands. That's one idea that Royal Caribbean does really good. They make you want to wash your hands. You will not see that on Carnival. The hand washing stations are barren. You hear crickets, and crickets are not supposed to be on the ship. You hear freaking crickets. But I seen tons of people stopping and washing their hands because the guy's playing the Macarena and he's going, and he's a little LGBTQ Spanish dude or Filipino, washy, and I'm laughing, but I'm dancing with him and said, yeah, you look, I better wash my hands. Keeping up and keeping us clean. And also, I'm saying the stuff I didn't like, but I gotta add this. When you go back on the boat, there's someone standing right at the boarding section and putting sanitizer in your hand. In other words, you can't come back by me until you put sanitizer on your hand. That I was ecstatically happy about. I was like, yeah, brother, thank you. Because you get a lot of breakouts, the norovirus, some stank behind people. I didn't see during the day a lot of people wiping stuff down. I didn't see that. Carnival, you do see that. I didn't see a lot of people wiping out because I was very hesitant walking down the stairs. When you're walking down the stairs, you always grab the banister. I'm like, nope. So I'm balancing and walking down the stairs. Being in the elevator, holding the side, handles. I was like, watching what I was doing to stay healthy. Watch what I was doing to stay in my lane so I can enjoy, my time on this boat. That I didn't, I was trying to, acclimate myself to. I noticed they had like a tran on the island. The black guy he'd stop and slow down and stop. He stopped for the white folks, for the Caucasians, but take off for the black folks. That's this little side eye. Oh, yeah. I finally, all the cruises I've been on, I finally found the door that had an upside down pineapple. And for y'all folks that don't know about upside down pineapples, Google it. I'll say that. Just Google it. Another thing I don't like, and it's nothing you can do about it. The whole I forgot to do a video. I should have did a funny video to get to your room from the lobby or from there was two ways to on the port side to get to our room. You just knew once you started walking down that hallway that was gonna be one heck of a walk. That was just being overweight and lazy. That's one heck of a walk just to get back to your room. Um, I can't say no more about that. You know what I mean. I'm gonna give more positive stuff to this, but and another one, okay. This one I said it quick before, but I want to say this again. My booty hole cringed up when and this happened right in front of us. That there was a son, a Caucasian teenager, being disrespectful to his mother. And it was sad to see because these are the people that grow up and believe that they could talk to anybody anyway. Because if I talk to my mother like this, I can talk to anybody like that. So if I go up and I be a CEO to a manager to anybody, I could talk to anybody like this because I've gotten away with it all my life. And the mother was like, the kid was a teenager. He said, what the F bomb I do? And I know this is not Royal Caribbean's fault, but I was watching society right here. If you were African American, if you were in the Caribbean, if you were Asian or Mexican, that guy would have got B-slapped. He would have got choked out. Pops would have knocked him out and dared him to and then say, okay, now get up and apologize to your mother. See, this society of I don't believe in disciplining my child, but wait a minute, you're not gonna disrespect the woman that birthed you. Oh man, I was scared for him, and I'm like, what? And she just walked. The mother walked away in tears. I'd have got killed. I'd have freaking got killed. Ain't no way. And I'm like, and that's what I was saying. I was saying to myself, I must be in the Twilight Zone. And it's on. And let's just change the subject because that was sad. That was sad. But another thing is and it's I think it's in World Caribbean somewhere in their instruction. They 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 don't want you giving out the ducks. But everybody I spoke to, including the people working for Royal Caribbean, they got very excited. They got very excited about the duck hunts. They got very excited that if you was a person that hid the ducks. I was asked quite a few times, are you collecting or are you hiding? I'm hiding. Oh, my kid's gonna follow you all over the place. I just would give him out, and I was very respectful. I'd ask the parent, can I give your child a duck? Being very respectful, not ghetto, but being very respectful. That's the whole problem with society nowadays. You thinking because you see a lot of people together that they're ghetto. No, they're not. Just want to have fun. Everybody talks down about Carnival, but you can see Royal was trying their darndest to be like Carnival. Oh, we're the part. The Utopia is supposed to be the party ship. You had a whole bunch of white folks trying to learn Cupid Shuffle. They had a Cupid Shuffle class. I'm going, oh my god, like oh my god, and I'm laughing. I'm laughing because, and I'm like, yeah, well, you good for you, but you need to take it behind. Because, you know, when that to the left, and I don't know if that's a Cupid Shuffle or whatever, but I don't care because I don't do it anyway. But most most minorities will get out in there in 5 seconds, 5, 10 seconds later, they got the whole dance down. That's what's going on now with these. They they've changed the definition because I've gotten into it on another platform. A guy said, "Well, you know, a trail ride, you can have four wheelers, you know, the side by sides, and you can have four wheelers and all that. Where the fans at, and where the fans at, and everybody have. That's a new fad. But the original fad is grown men getting together, having a couple of beers, showing off their horses, and riding their horses, racing their horses." Taking care of their horses and showing them, look, this is my steed. That's a real trail ride, not this flingy stuff right now. Because my wife had me cracking up. She's like, you know, she want to look for a cowboy hat and a fan. I said, you would have a freaking fit at a real trail ride where the horses are and the horse flies. You'd have a real freaking fit. This ain't this. That's not what this is. This is a fad. This gonna go away. But you got these grown men that are spending tens of thousands of dollars on their horses and making sure that their horses are fed. They look at the horse when the horse comes out of the truck. But that's a fad. No, that's not a fad. That's reality. That's what the truth. You know what I mean? But back to what I was saying. I'm gonna talk about a video. One thing I didn't like is the sail away party. This is supposed to be a party boat. They've got no place on the upper decks for you to actually party, to dance, because the way the layout is, they've got no place. So there was little mini groups. Norma was on the starboard side little group, and they were trying, but it was lame. They were trying, and don't get me wrong, they wasn't too far below Carnival in that aspect, because see, these corporate boats, they probably give up. Well, this is the music that we are allowed to play. This is the music we paid for. We even had on Carnival, which just destroyed the sail away party. They played Baby Shark, and everybody just got up and walked away. Baby Shark. So don't get me wrong. See, if you're gonna have a sail away party, have a sail away party. People want to start they whatever, and I got, thank God, you know, I got a little tipsy and walked away from a camera. Walked away from a 4K camera and my brand new tripod that I got this Christmas. Brand new tripod. It would have been long freaking gone, but Charles had grabbed it and got it. So I kind of, you know, I kind of had to slow my roll down a little bit. But I mean, it is what it is. You know, these things happen. So now when I'm filming, I think I need to leave the alcohol alone, especially when when if I'm filming, I need to keep my eye on the prize. You know what I'm saying? My eye on the prize and not on the foolishness. But um, what I found with Carnival, the best partiers, the best cruise directors are, and I am sorry I gotta say it, but African American LGBTQ personnel. They know how to throw a party. And when you see the cruise director as that, I'm like, oh, okay, um, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun, hilarious, and so forth. But we didn't have one of them. We didn't have, and I said it on I think a few videos. Charles has said that the captain was supposed to be a black woman. I think she done switched out because they'll be a cat. They'll operate the ship for 6 months or so forth because the guy that kept coming on the loudspeaker he sounded Italian to me. He sounded Italian to me, so I was like, okay, I need to throw that up there. The party scene was I didn't see it. Um, but oh, and another thing, oh my God, where are they finding these comedians from? I got everybody to get it. We should have went to I missed the Aqua show. I missed the Aqua show because I was like, well, let's go to the adult comedy show. That was just straight up stupid. If you're gonna get some comedians, let them at least be a little bit funny. It was not funny. It wasn't even entertaining. It wasn't even entertaining. And that's the sad part. I'm like, you the thing is when you get on these mega ships, you go from the date that you decide to get on this ship, you got to plan everything out. I'm not that type of person, but now I know you got to plan it out. You got to plan and if it's so disappointing when I planned it, we did plan that out, and it was just lame. It was lame. Now we went to Perfect Day at Coco Cay. All the videos make you believe that this is a huge island. That this is a huge island, that they got so many sections and all of this stuff. Nope. Nope. That island was small. When we pulled off, when we were leaving out of the dock, I happened to be at the back, and I looked. I'm like, wait a minute. That little itty bitty island was probably what 2 miles long and maybe 2 miles wide. Not even. I don't even think it was that. I don't even think it was that big. And they had a section carted off that you're not allowed to go that way. They only but they make you think that Perfect Day, it was such this huge place that you got to pay all of this money for. And I felt like they were I felt being nickel and dimed to death. I felt everywhere I went, I was like, how much is this? It was to the point of how much is this? Oh, this is complimentary. Oh, okay. And don't get me wrong, you think I'm being negative, but there's a lot of positive. I'm gonna be talking about the positives tomorrow, especially with the food. And in Urban, they had what you call it? They had a Caribbean night one of the chefs was Jamaican. Only that he had bad that wasn't good was the beef patties. The beef patties it wasn't even the right. Uh, the beef patties weren't right, but we had oxtails, and I'll be talking about that tomorrow. We had oxtails on a cruise ship, and it was it wasn't it was off the chain. I'll say that. And the rice and peas or peas and rice and peas, that was there. I'll be talking about that tomorrow. But another thing I don't like is the tipping mentality. It sounds like they don't tip on Royal. Because I learned this from Charles. I didn't. I wasn't doing. I was being cheap because you pay gratuities before you get on the boat. If not, you're gonna get hit at the end of the week. It's a cruise thing. You pay a certain amount. It'd be like 14, 13 bucks a day per person for it's a tip for all the hard work that the your cabin steward does, and he's supposed to, yeah, but he's working himself to the bone. And this guy's really, if they say your name, they're polite. The you know the it's for people in the background that working hard. They work long hours. I'm saying they work ungodly hours. So I started saving up and giving extra. I shouldn't have. I should have got more. Normally I would have, but we we gave him a tip. But Charles had gave one his room steward $40, and he's like, "What's this for?" He said, "This is the tip for you." And the guy got emotional and said, I never got a tip." I was like, "What?" Yeah, I know that, of course, but guess what? They'll carry that money for the casino. They'll carry that money for getting out off the boat at the port. They'll carry it for that. But why not carry it for the people that are working 16 hours a day to give you this fantasy? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm complaining about things I didn't like on Royal, but the crew was off the chain. The crew was the crew was fantastic. They did their job, and you want to give it, when and he kept on saying that because like I said, we were the reason why the company's not going to pay fair wages because it's not an American company. They get everybody from everywhere else. The boats are not none of the, there's only one American cruise ship, and that's out of Hawaii. Norwegian has it. All of the other boats are they're from Panama. The boat we was on is out of the Bahamas. So there's different work ethics, and you're right. They should be paying fair wages, but this is part of it. Um, the the tips are included in the fare on Virgin Voyages. So you're paying it, you don't have to give them nothing. But I believe because I've watched it over the years how much work these people do. I'll give extra. I'll give extra here. This for you in cash, not to be shared with it. This for you because you made my fantasy. You made my fantasy for 3 or 4 days or 5 or 6 or 7 days. You made my fantasy feel wonderful. Now I got to go back to the real world. I got to go back to getting yelled at. I got to go back to dealing with and driving through that minefield this morning. Mike will tell you about it. Do you see what I'm saying? You're saying thank you, and I'm not looking down on you. I'm saying thank you to you for what you've done for the few days that my goofy, fat, overweight, greasy ass did. You had to scrub the toilets that I blew up from overeating and throwing up. You had to clean the areas of my domain and my bathroom, my cabin, and all of that stuff. So you deserve this, in my eyes. But a lot of people were standing in them lines at the last night after they got their bill, and I'm not paying that, and getting it taken off, because you can get the gratuities taken off. But after a while, I said, you know what? I'm gonna stop being cheap. When someone is smiling at me and calling me by my name, good morning, Mr. Darren. Good morning, Mr. Banks. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? How was your day? And I'm not getting that out here. The bartender, we had a bartender threw extra alcohol in the blue mother, it's called the blue mother F bomb. And he threw action, and we would all looked at each other like, and gave him tip. Hey, here you go. They know how to make their money, and it's well appreciated because you're getting overcharged anyway. $8 a beer plus you're paying what? 13% gratuities. The tips in the thing. But I get here's an extra dollar. I allocate that. I've allocated that. I blew 300 at the casino, but I've already allocated. Okay, this 300 is going to the casino. I kept on giving it to the wife. She thought I was drunk. I'm not drunk. I'm not allowed to be drunk around her. I was like, here, here, here. She says, you just kept on giving it to me. No, I didn't keep on giving you. I was giving you the limit. I was giving you your limit. Your limit your limit was $150. That's what you got from me. She might have got more. But I'm giving that to you because as my wife, you've done 10 times the whole year long for me. If I can't give you nothing, I'm a sack of crap. I'm not. I'll give you what you deserve. If I got it, and in closing, there's just, I'm gonna be talking about this week, little thing, and all the stuff I said was not a big deal. It's just having a morning conversation like we're doing right now. That's all it is. But I found out this one thing, and I thank you guys for this. This is part of my mental fortitude is to be talking in the morning. I was highly upset, and now I know that I'm gonna have to do lives on when I go on my birthday cruise, because that's my mental escape to it's my mental escape, my mental to keep me sane. And I just thank y'all guys for being a part of that. It's like a sit down couch or whatever. I know if gratuity, but you're not giving up. But I give more because you've done more. You've done more than that. The gratuity is put into a pot and it's given out to everybody. But if you've done more for me, I want you to have extra, and that's why I give cash. Here, this is for you. I know that the gratuity goes into a pot for your salary, but this part of it and other people's salary, this part I want you to have. All right, guys, I've run over my time. thank you for coming in. Thank you for being a part of my life. As always, if you don't think nobody loves you, I love you. And God loves you too. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you for listening to my bull crap. Thank you for being a part of my life and a part of my life and even in the remix. Y'all stay, be blessed. Don't be stressed. Deuces.